So North Korea, they're really upping the ante this time, calling South Korea an anti-communist outpost for the U.S., saying they're ready with their toughest strategy. Like, what does that even mean? I don't know about you, but that definitely has my attention.
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously. And if you're feeling that same, like, uneasy vibe, hit that like button. Let's get into it.
Definitely a lot to unpack here.
Right. So we're diving into this Reuters article, fresh off the press, all about a recent meeting in North Korea, and it's sending some pretty serious signals.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This was a key meeting.
Yeah, this isn't just any meeting, right?
Yeah.
This is the big leagues.
Yeah.
The Workers' Party of Korea, they just wrapped up this major policy meeting, and let me tell you, the takeaways are, well, there's something.
Right. It definitely set the stage for what's to come, I think.
So before we even get into the details, you know the drill. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're your go-to for breaking down these global events.
Absolutely. Stay informed, people.
Okay, so back to North Korea. So these Workers' Party meetings, they're kind of a big deal, right? This is where they announce their game plan.
Exactly. We're talking about the plenary session of the Central Committee. Essentially, this is where they lay out their policy agenda for the entire country.
And this time around, let's just say, it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows. They straight up called the U.S., South Korea, Japan alliance a nuclear military bloc.
Yeah, and that's not even the half of it.
Right. And then they doubled down, basically saying they're ready to unleash their toughest strategy against, well, us, the U.S. So help me out here. What does that even look like? What should we be expecting?
It's tough to say for certain, but if we look at their past behavior, we could be talking about an escalation on multiple fronts. Increased military exercises, a push to advance their weapons programs, even a rise in cyber attacks.
Yeah, that's not exactly reassuring. This is a regime that's been pretty clear about wanting to beef up their military, especially their nuclear arsenal.
Right. Their nuclear ambitions are definitely something to keep a close eye on.
It's like, how much worse can this get? But look, it's our job to stay informed, right? Even when it's a little unnerving. And hey, while we're at it, drop a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going. What are your thoughts on all this? Okay, but there's more. They also took aim at South Korea, calling them an anti-communist outpost. What does that mean for relations between the two Koreas, which were already, not exactly peachy?
Yeah. Let's just say it doesn't exactly paint a rosy picture for peaceful dialogue or any sort of resolution.
It's complicated, for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so the meeting wasn't all doom and gloom international tensions. They did touch on some domestic issues. Remember those devastating floods they had earlier this year?
Right.
Well, they discussed their recovery efforts, which, it's a reminder that they have their own internal struggles, just like any other nation.
Absolutely. It's easy to forget that sometimes.
Huh? Right. They're not a monolithic entity, despite how it might seem. Okay, so there were also some leadership shakeups, which is always interesting. Pak Tae-sung, he's the new premier. And they bumped up the foreign minister, Cho Sun-hui, to the Politburo. What do you make of that? Is this just routine stuff, or could it be a sign of a bigger shift in their strategy?
It's definitely noteworthy. Leadership changes can be pretty standard procedure, but these particular appointments, especially Cho Sun-hui's elevation, it might point towards a more assertive foreign policy.
Makes sense, especially with the timing coming right on the heels of this meeting and all its, shall we say, strong statements.
Yeah.
And, of course, we can't ignore the elephant, or maybe the bear, in the room, right? Russia.
That recent summit between Putin and Kim Jong-un, that mutual defense pledge, how much is that playing into North Korea's new boldness, do you think?
The growing relationship between Russia and North Korea, yeah, that definitely adds another layer of complexity to an already pretty volatile situation. It's like, what's going to happen next? Don't forget to share this deep dive with your friends. People need to know about this. But here's the million-dollar question. Where does this leave denuclearization efforts? Is that even on the table anymore with all this going on?
That's a question that's, it's tough to answer. It really is. I guess only time will tell how this all plays out.
Yeah, it's a waiting game, I guess. Well, thanks for breaking this down with me. And to everyone listening, as always, stay tuned, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.